All right, so I am going to solve these 4 different inequalities and show you the reason behind one of our rules when solving inequalities. So when you solve an inequality, you solve it just like you would an equation. You're going to pretend like that inequality symbol is an equal sign. So I'm going to look at this first one. I am going to look at 2x is greater than 6. Well, I know the 2 is multiplied by the x, which is 2 is my coefficient. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. I'm going to get x is greater than 3. Okay, so to graph this, I am going to come over to 3 on my number line. I'm going to have an open circle because it doesn't say x is greater than or equal to 3. It just says x is greater than 3. So 3 is not part of my solution set. It says x is greater than 3, so I'm going to shade to the right of 3 because I know values to the right are going to get bigger. So I'm going to choose a variable to the right to check myself. So let's see, I am going to get a different color real quick to check. So I'm going to grab 5. I'm going to use 5 to check my answer. So I'm going to take the original inequality, 2x is greater than 6. I'm going to substitute in a 5. Is 10 greater than 6? Yes, it is. So that checked out. Okay. Now let's look at a case where we're having to divide by a negative to isolate the variable. My rule says if I divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, I have to turn that inequality sign around. So instead of being greater than, it's going to be less than. And 6 divided by -2 is -3. So I'm going to graph this inequality. I'm going to be over here at -3. I'm going to have an open circle because it doesn't say x is less than or equal to -3, just x is less than -3. Now I need to look, okay, I've got x is less than -3. Where are values less than -3? To the left of -3. So now I am going to go ahead and check. And let's see, I'm going to grab -5. I'm going to see if -5 will work in my original inequality. So I'm going to grab for x -5 and substitute that in. -2 times -5 is 10. 10 is greater than 6. So that checked out. You could also check it right here. You could say, okay, is -5 less than -3? Yes, it is. Okay. Owing somebody $5 is a lot more than owing somebody $3. Okay. Now let's see what had happened had you not flipped the inequality sign. If you didn't flip it, it would be saying values to the right. So let's try a +5 just to show you why you need to flip that inequality sign. So if I had not flipped it, I would be like, okay, -10 is greater than 6. No. So when you divide or multiply by a negative, you have to flip that inequality sign around. Okay, let's take a look at some examples where you have the variable being divided by a number. So therefore you have to multiply both sides to isolate the variable. So in this case, I had x divided by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. X is greater than 8. Okay, so let me graph this one. I'm going to go to +8. Again, it's an open circle because I'm not saying x is also equal to 8. So I'm saying values are greater than 8. So let me shade to the right and let me choose a number that's greater than 8. So let's just go ahead and choose 10. Okay, so I'm going to put 10 back in my original inequality to check. Is 10 divided by 2 greater than 4? Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 is in fact greater than 4. So that did also check. All right, let's look at one where our x is divided by a negative. So I'm going to have to multiply both sides by -2. It cancels here. Again, I have to flip that inequality sign. So if it's greater than, it's now going to be less than. 4 times -2 is -8. Okay, so let me graph this inequality. So I'm going to be down here at -8, open circle, values that are less than -8 or to the left. So I'm going to check. Let me grab, let's see. Let me grab negative, let's see. We'll grab negative 10. Okay. Let's just grab negative 10 to check. So I have x divided by negative 2. Is that greater than 4? Well, let's plug in a negative 10. All right. Negative 10 divided by negative 2 is positive 5. Is 5 greater than 4? Yes, it checked out. Now, had I graphed it wrong and forgot to flip my inequality sign, I could have chosen, I don't know, positive 10. So let's see if positive 10 would have worked. Okay. 10 divided by negative 2, is that greater than 4? Well, 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Negative 5 is not greater than 4. So again, if you divide or multiply by a negative, you need to switch that inequality sign around. Another thing to remember with inequalities, if you have open circles, that's because you've either got greater than or less than. Closed circles, which means that is also part of the solution set, would be greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. Okay.